Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial trading card franchises out there that was a ripoff of another card game, and no, I'm not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And never got a real dub, Duel Masters. We'll get into the insanity of it all in a bit, but before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. Let's get it. Duel Masters was created by Shigenobu Matsumoto and published by Shogakukan in the CoroCoro comic magazine on November 27, 1999. 3 years later, the trading card game was released in Japan in May 2002, where it quickly became the #1 selling trading card game for over a year in Japan. Owing to this popularity, it was released in the United States on March 5, 2004. The game shares several similarities with Magic the Gathering, the world's first collectible card game. In fact, Duel Masters was originally intended as an alternative trade name for Magic the Gathering. The manga's earlier gameplay was in fact about Magic the Gathering. The manga was later updated and adapted into an anime, first premiered in Japan on October 21st, 2002 and ran until December 2nd, 2003 for 26 episodes, eventually coming to North America on Cartoon Network in the USA and YTV in Canada in 2004. This initial series captured the hearts of viewers with its thrilling duels and the adventures of our protagonist, Shobu Kirifuda, as he strives to become a champion Duel Masters player. So, let's get into the story. The Temple of Duels Arc. Before his friend's father warns them, Shobu Kirifuda, who is getting ready for the Duel Masters tournament, almost misses it. In the championship round, Joe Seonji, who uses 2 different decks of cards, cheats, despite Joe's defenses, taking first place in the competition. The following day, a mysterious figure named Knight challenges Shobu to a duel. Shobu first has concerns about Knight's abilities, but he accepts the test. Shobu first struggles in the battle, but then recalls his father's counsel to have confidence in himself. He gathers his strength and engages Knight in combat, demonstrating his prowess and tenacity in the game. Knight eventually prevails against him though, with the light civilization card, Holy Awe. After that, Shobu is discouraged, but is given support by his mother and friends. Shobu later meets Mimi, a fresh student who enjoys Duel Masters as well. Moving ahead, the temple sends Toru to confront Shobu, but Kokuju interrupts their combat and wins, replacing Toru in the fight with Shobu. Shobu grows discouraged after losing to Kokujo, and decides to learn the Dark Civilization cards in order to beat him again. When Shobu accepts Knight's offer to compete in a junior tournament, a new duelist called Takeshi Seriyoma challenges him right away and easily beats him. Then Takeshi arranges for Shobu and Tsuyoshi Seriyoma to square off. Hakuo and Toban Jan compete in a special demonstration bout before the main event. Tom hosts the opening of the first Duel Masters Battle Arena Junior Tournament and introduces the 16 competitors. The first time they face up, Toru easily defeated by Tsuyoshi by using his formidable animals to overwhelm his defenses. The Master of the Temple grants Jamira, who had previously cheated but is now seeking atonement, a chance to fight Shobu after he uses cunning card moves to overcome his opponent. Shobu, in contrast, wins all of his fights with ease. As the preliminary rounds come to a close, Shobu squares off against Jamira in the semifinals, while Toru wins his match and advances to face Shobu. The ultimate fight between Shobu Kirifuda and Toru Kamiya is about to begin. Prior to entering the stage, both competitors face challenges. Shobu was delayed by a stomachache brought on by beverages that Jamira gave him, but Knight prevents his deck from being stolen. Shobu and Toru show up there just as the judges are ready to adjourn the competition. Shobu places Brawler Xyler in his mana zone to start the fight, and then Toru deploys Aqua Vehicle. As the game goes on, Shobu defeats Toru's shields. Ultimately, Shobu defeats Toru and captures the championship, securing an entrance to the temple using potent cards like Fatal Attacker Horvath and Bolshak Dragon. When Shobu and his companions go to a brand new duel center, they encounter an enigmatic guy who gives them directions to the temple, where Hakuo is waiting. Shobu enters by answering questions about his deck, and he is given a token system in which winning duels gives him tokens, and losing ones requires him to give up a token. To duel Hakuo, he requires 50 tokens. In the meantime, Shobu's buddies see the details of his deck written on the wall, revealing his flaws. Shobu now has 3 tokens left. Fritz the Goblin then admits that the temple is biased towards Hakuo when Mimi confronts him about all of the shenanigans that have been going on. Despite a string of defeats, however, Shobu never gives up. Shobu's deck is augmented by Mimi, who uses his father's tactic. As soon as Shobu has 50 tokens, he is allowed entry to the upper chambers where he may start practicing for his combat with Hakuo. Shobu and his companions go to the temple to confront Hakuo. Shobu is then challenged by Hakuo, who they discover in disguise. Hakuo is suddenly revealed to be Kentaro as a bird exposes his wig. Shobu accepts the challenge that Kentaro makes. Kentaro is defeated by Shobu, and Hakuo offers for him to join his gang, but Kentaro is exiled from the temple. Shobu is taken aback when Mimi, the second temple protector, is revealed. Their fight gets more intense despite his underestimating her, and the master uses mind control to control Mimi's behavior at a critical point in the duel. When Shobu enters the fourth guardian's room, Kokujo is already there. In the form of a hologram, Hakuo offers a deal. If Shobu beats Kokujo, he may go up against Hakuo. The duelists agree to take on the task, and as their beasts come to life, Shobu and Kokujo face off, with Shobu being the winner. Eventually, Shobu and Hakuo begin their final battle, and Bullshock Dragon is called forth by Shobu, but Mikuni cautions that Earth's might can negate it. Shobu questions why he wasn't told, and Shobu summons Rumblegate and engages in combat with Hakuo's monsters. By protecting Shobu from the master's onslaught, Hakuo strengthens their bond. Infuriated, the master departs while announcing a fresh start. Kokujo accepts Shobu's invitation to a rematch, drawing interest from other park-goers, and Shobu inspires pride in Shori. Shobu then competes in a regional event against a smaller duelist named George. George, though, kidnaps Shobu so they can fight in the woods. Meanwhile, Shobu's buddies Iron Matty and Knight look for him on the highway and in the city. Shobu learns throughout the fight that George's animals are survivors, which support one another in becoming stronger. After losing to Dr. Root, Shobu strives to improve his duelist abilities, but he encounters a new difficulty when he begins to hear voices from his monster cards. It is at this point where North American and Japanese audiences watched extremely different season 2s of Duel Masters. Confusing, I know, but let me explain. Only the first Japanese season was localized for the North American market. Hasbro and Elastic Media specifically created their own season 2 called Duel Masters Sacred Lands in America, which is considered by all fans to not be canon. While Japan got the real Duel Masters season 2, Duel Masters Charge, consisting of 52 more episodes. While America's season 2 picked up right where season 1 ended, the canon version begins 3 years after the events of season 1, with Shobu having spent the last several years training under Dr. Root. So, for continuity's sake, let's jump in to the real Duel Masters Charge. Thus, we get into the Battle Arena arc. Rakuta is lonely at the local competition since his pal Shobu, who has been abroad for 3 years training with Dr. Root, isn't there. Rakuta is about to give up when Knight intervenes and tells him about the opportunity to compete in the Duel Masters Battle Arena tournament. Among the competitors, the mystery hooded gang, 4 expert duelists stick out. The shrouded duelists Mimi, Hakuo, and Boy George are revealed to be Shobu's buddies as the competition goes on. The final shrouded member, Shobu, suffers in his battle but prevails thanks to his newly acquired talents. Shobu and his pals triumph, and Dr. Root is revealed to be the enigmatic observer. The team gets ready to compete in the Battle Arena tournament, where they will face off against the Robbie Rotten-led Black Soldiers, a rival team. In the opening maze of the qualifications, Mikuni competes against Robbie Rotten, a cheater who uses a phone to guide him. As the fight goes on, Mikuni is defeated by Robbie Rotten's sneak attacks. Robbie Rotten is still trying to challenge Hakuo, and Shobu and Mimi have yet to participate.
It's payback time.
The Duel Masters Battle Arena tournament has a number of important happenings. Mikuni gets eliminated from the competition as Shobu and Mimi become trapped in a maze. A powerful team known as the Black Soldiers defeats several expert duelists, including former tournament winners. And as they compete with other duelists, the Black Soldiers' strength is put to the test. Boy George proves to be a powerful opponent as well, taking down over 20 duelists, including some Black Soldiers members. Shobu's buddies have not yet begun their duel though, and Boy George succeeds in escaping the maze and ends up triumphant in conquering multi-card Monty. Mimi then faces off against a duelist named Akakan by following a card trail. Shobu, who is still disoriented, comes upon a blocked passage but chooses to take a different route. From outside the stadium, Knight finds that the black soldiers are lying and assisting their team, but Shobu's surprising maneuvers drive them into a battle. Knight captures the offenders and stresses that only talent, not trickery, can genuinely win duels. After this, Mimi, Boy George, Shobu, and Hakuo make it to the Battle Arena Tournament Finals by winning difficult matches. Kentaro and Makoto Aizen secure their positions in the meanwhile as well, but the heroes have to get their passes from the absent Dr. Root. They pursue hints in strange doodles, and Mimi discovers hers in a duel dojo. She engages in a fight with the master to reclaim her pass, taking note of her errors and advancing to the finals. Boy George and Mimi then advance to the Battle Arena Tournament Finals after escaping the labyrinth. Shobu, Hakuo, Robbie Rotten, and another duelist, Ishiguro, are the other duelists to advance as well. Despite losing to Ishiguro, Hakuo is happy to have fought his idol. Shobu advances alongside Mimi, Boy George, and Hakuo after being defeated by Robbie in a tough match. The finals are secured for more duelists, including Kentaro and Makoto Aizen. The challenge the characters must overcome is getting their passes from the absent Dr. Root. They look for the strange sketches that they are given throughout the town. While dueling the master to get her pass back, Mimi discovers her clue at the duel dojo. Despite obstacles, she succeeds and advances to the finals. Mimi, Shobu, Boy George, and Hakuo then find their passes and continue the competition. Boy George discovers the meaning of his drawing, faces pressure, and loses to Master Yuki, but wins after developing his ability to handle pressure. Dr. Root then tricks them, leading to battles against robot versions of themselves. They overcome some early setbacks in the duels and learn the strange decks and resurface. Shobu then defeats Makoto Aizen, Hakuo defeats Yurivana Toko, and the other duelists begin taking each other out one by one. Eventually, in the championship duel, Mimi, dressed as an angel, squares off against Kokujo, dubbed the Reaper of Darkness, in the final match. Mimi wants to impress Hakuo and rile up Kokujo. Despite her early difficulties, Mimi eventually defeats Kokujo thanks to her greater confidence, improved deck, and willpower. Kokujo, though, is declared the winner in the end. The next opponent is Kabutomaru Kuwagata, a member of an underprivileged community. With the aid of his family and a giant insect shield revival deck, Kabutomaru puts up a valiant battle. Shobu, though, pulls off a comeback and triumphs. Mikunu and Makoto are captured by Benihana, leading to a fight with Hakuo, and Kokujo and Yufua engage in a kaijudo match. Mimi and her friends then learn of the situation and attend Hakuo's battle. Hakuo announces a perfect duel, reveals a new appearance, and faces Benihana. Shobu battles Yufua in the championship match, and Yuma transforms into a duelist hunter but is defeated by Shobu. Finally, Zakira is revealed as the mastermind behind all the heinous ordeals throughout the series. In the final tournament, Shobu duels Bucketman under Zakira's influence. Mimi, Aizen, and Mikuno try to save the children in the meantime, but get captured. Hakuo's past is then revealed, and he can no longer duel. Shobu then obtains a map and prepares to go to Fua Castle. After some more shenanigans dealing with some filler duelists, Hendrix and Imelda capture Rakuta. Oh my god! Wow! Leading Shobu to battle Imelda. With the help of his final Drag Armor Cross Gear and Bolberg Cross Dragon, Shobu defeats Imelda and saves Rakuta. Kabutomaru then delivers a message from Zerubbabel Holmes, while Hendrix steals Bolberg Cross Dragon but escapes with Zerubbabel's assistance. Boy George, Mimi, and Shikua discover that Dr. Root left his phone at home, but managed to retrieve it, and Hakuo competes in a double kaijudo duel against Jason and Miss Kirumi. Despite facing difficulties and the Citadel crumbling, Hakuo emerges victorious. Shobu, Rakuta, and Zerubbabel travel back to Fua Castle, where a ceremony is held for Hakuo's initiation. Zakira's phantasmal clones pose challenges for Shobu's team. In a duel between Kokujo and Whittle, Hakuo defeats Kokujo, and then Hakuo collapses but is saved. Shobu then confronts Zakira, who reveals the fate of Shobu's father, and the battle intensifies, with Shobu receiving help from Yu and using his new Dual Shock Dragon. Zakira's Metal Chaos Dragon proves formidable. Eventually, Potman sacrifices himself and Zakira emerges as the victor, gaining access to the Awakening card's abilities as the fortress takes flight. And honestly, that's how it ends. I can see why they decided to make a separate season, because season 1, Shobu got trashed and it ended in a cliffhanger. And now this original season 2, Duel Masters Charge, Shobu gets rinsed again, and now we get cliffhang into another series. To be honest, despite the fact that this was a hugely successful series in Japan, and it has like 13 different sequels, it didn't hit in North America. So I don't blame them. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and slap the bell notification icon so you never miss another video. Until next time, peace.